Welcome to AI Creatives Connect, my friends. I hope you're doing well today. It's that time where we meet every Wednesday around about 11 p.m. Eastern. Those of you on the East Coast are probably getting ready for bed. Or if you're a diehard creative, probably just getting ready to do some creative work. We're going to be starting in a little bit. We're going to wait for a few more folks to be able to jump on. And then today, we're talking about a very interesting subject. We're talking about AI music tolerance. And we're going to be talking about the 7 different archetypes in the world of AI music. And I will also be giving you a quiz to find out what level of AI musician are you. Coming up shortly. It's also a good time to put any questions you might have about artificial intelligence music or any of the apps that we're always talking about. Put it in the chat and I'll get to your question as soon as I'm able. My friends, I think it's about time to get started. Lots of things to talk about today. All right, well, why don't we begin by chatting in? If you are a subscriber to this channel, now's a good time for you to chat in. And let us know where you're calling from or where you're listening from. And let us know how your week has been so far. Have you had a good week? Has it been productive? Now, this is the midpoint, so it's always good to share any successes, failures, wins, things of that nature. So let me know how you're doing. This is a community where we care about how our members are doing. And if anything new has happened in the week, we want to know. Okay. So I'll jump straight into the very important announcements. First of all, I want to welcome all of our new subscribers. And also all of our new members. You do know that the join button has perks First of all, you are helping the channel. And secondly, you're also getting access to videos that are not on the main page. So it's always something I let subscribers know because I haven't really announced it very much. But right now, I think we're going on about 20 members strong. And I want to give a shout out to our members who have joined very recently. And we're going to be coming out with some more perks as the weeks go on. There's some additional tools that I'm working on, additional content that you'll be finding in the membership section. But speaking about additional tools, I actually have a tool that is free for everyone who might be on this call right now or watching sometime in the future. So let's jump into that tool. I want to make sure everyone knows about it because I haven't talked about it enough. And this tool over here on the screen, this tool is called the Chord Zapper. Not after the great Frank. But a chord zapper, it just helps you zap the chords for your composition. So the way this works, let me first put it in the chat to get started so that you know where to find it. So let me put that in the chat. Okay. So that's the chord zapper in the chat. When you go over to that page, all you need to do is hit load piano and start. And for those of you that don't have a musical instrument, but you have an ear for music and you want to compose, this is going to allow you compose to chords. So you just press any of the chords. Like if you know minimal music, just stay at the top level and play with the chords. There's some popular progressions that I've put here, like 1, 5, 6, 4, or the famous 1, 4, 5, back to 1. See? Or the 4, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. I'm sure you've heard a lot of songs with these. Let's do, I don't want to be flagged. I would have sang Hey Jude. But you could use this to play any song, you know. I don't want to be flagged. I'm not going to sing any copyright stuff. But play with that, and then if you scroll down, you've got the minor of the first chord, which is C. You've got the minor of the 4 and the 5. So you could do some pretty fun stuff, to be honest, okay? So I'll not sing any stuff that will get the big three to whack me on the head. But you go in there and you play with that, okay? And then I kept the previous module of the chord helper. The sounds aren't that great, but some people have gotten accustomed to it. So I left it there so they wouldn't feel they'd lost a tool they'd been using. But the sounds, it sounds like a beat up 1980s Casio. So it depends on the taste. Some people like it, so, you know, I don't begrudge you for liking it. It was the first version. This is a more advanced sound library for this piano, okay? And then the cool thing is you could go to any key. Da 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 ba da da da. I don't want to finish it because I might get whacked on the head. You know what I'm trying to sing. You can sing and play to it just using these. Just find the key that's convenient for you. You know, there are 12 keys in music. Find the one that's convenient for you. And you can also record what you're doing to your desktop. So I've done a tutorial on OBS and how to set up your own radio station. Well, if you watch that tutorial, there's a record button on OBS. You could sing into your computer's mic and play this along, and then you could record that, and you could use that as a prompt in none other than, ta-da, version 5. You can take your prompts up to the next level in version 5 by playing some, musical accompaniment along with it. All right. Good deal. I very recently worked on a composition that I have found to be quite exciting, quite interesting. And I think I'm going to play a little bit of it for you folks. For those of you folks who like a little bit of funk, I'm going to play a little bit of that funk jam for you. So let me get that rolling here. And the funk jam is just called Going All In. So I recently just uploaded it to Lander. It's just sitting there in Lander, waiting for me to download it and waiting for me to put it up as my next release. So let me show you what that looks like. I've shown you behind the scenes, haven't I? So many times in Lander. I mean, if you're new to this channel, well, meet Lander. It's a great tool that I use for part of my mastering process. And I just recently put up this one, which I'm going to play for you right now. It's called We're Going All In. And I created this. The creative process is rather interesting because I started off in your favorite tool. I started off in what's it called? Suno. Try not to call it something else. In Suno, and when I got done in Suno with this first version of it, I think this is it. And it's quite fun. However, if you listen closely, the dreaded artifacts came for visit. So I had to clean it up. I added some vocals. I added some keys. And this is the final. Let's check it out.
You can. Don't be a bum. Get me the program. Show me what you got. Go like a Dodge brand. We're going all in. Oh, yeah. We're going all in. All in. Trials may come and trials may go. Look who showed up finally to the show. Get your head out of the sand and face it like a man. Take on the battles 'cause you know you can. We're going all in. We're going all in. We're going all in.
We're Going All In. That's the title of that one. And again, all created in Suno first, but then I took the stems out, which might actually be interesting for some of you folks who have not really spoken to about this. But I want to give a shout out to one of our new members who just jumped into the chat. Queen Bethel, welcome. I'm glad that you have joined the best and the most caring AI musicians group on YouTube. So welcome again. Don't worry, you're going to learn a whole lot. You're going to learn a whole lot. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that you joined. And also be aware that there's lots of new perks that are going to be put into the group, and you'll be able to get access to all those. I'm going to be doing some additional training and coaching for music. That's those who want to learn more about music and about chords and scales and progressions, and just find your own voice. My hope is that a lot of the people who are in AI Connect end up being musicians, playing instruments to a large degree, right? And also singing, because that's what it's about, right? The joy of music is not just in the listening, and it's not just in the creating by prompting, but it's also in the creating by actually doing it physically as well. Okay, so I wanted to show you folks the process. You might find it interesting for how the song goes from Suno to this final piece that you just heard. So if we jump into Suno one more time, let's jump into Suno right over here, right? So in Suno, there's a pretty cool functionality that enables you to strip the instruments down to their bare minimum. So like this one. So if I click on the dots over here and click on Get Stems MIDI, it comes over here. Well, I've already extracted stems, but if I was doing this for the first time, I would extract the stems. And then when you come over here, it will show you all the instruments one by one. So you could listen to the instruments in the song one by one. I think I might be on mute. Okay, let me unmute this. Am I on mute? Or am I just low on volume? Oh, it's not. Oh, over here. Okay, here.
Don't be a bum. Get me the program. Show me what you got.
So those are the vocals. This is something else. Backing vocals.
We're going
or drums. Right? Or bass. So the really cool thing about Suno is you can get all these stems. You can just download the stems, and then you can go into a digital audio workstation like this, and you can see I've done considerable work on this song by doing a lot of FX treatments, put in some compression, like this one, for example, some compression, some reverb. These are all plugins, right? We call these plugins. So I've put some plugins on the different tracks, and when you listen to each one, you kind of get a feel for the extra work that was done on this track. For example, I'll just play some of the additions that were added. These are additions that were added after the fact, like all these. Those are additions. Those are additions. Those are all additions. Now this is the main stuff.
Going to the next level, level up, man.
I double the leads.
Get out of bed and do the best you can. Don't be a bum. Get me the program. Show me what you got. Go like a Dodge brand. We're going all in. Oh, hey. We're going all in. All in. Trials may come and trials may go. But look who showed up finally too.
So you get the idea. Being a so-called AI musician is not just about prompting and downloading a finished song and uploading it. No, there's a lot that goes into it because you're working as a partner. And that's really what I want to talk to everyone about today. The reason why I came up with this method, this system that I'm going to teach you today, is because I realized that there's a lot of polarization in the world of music, which is sad. In the music business, in bands, even families, there's arguments about AI. You're using AI, you're doing wrong. Why are you spoiling the profession? You know, what are you doing? You're a traitor, you're a sellout. You sold your soul. You done sold your soul to AI, to the devil. You know, all sorts of crazy stuff I've heard. And it occurred to me that we don't have a place to meet, to understand each other's position, each other's posture. And that's really what I am going to talk about today. I have created a system that will enable bands, members of bands, record labels, people, just anyone identify who they are in the creative process. And I call it the PHILL-AIM system, AI in music, right? Of course, my name's Phil, so you know where that came from. But it's called the PHILL-AIM system. And I'm going to make this available to people to be able to assess where they are. In fact, I have a quiz that I'm going to unleash very shortly to help people find out where they are in the world of AI. So when I'm done with what I'm going through now, I'm going to be sending you a quiz, hopefully, a test, a little test for you to identify where you are in the process, and hopefully it'll be very interesting. Okay, so let's get started with the 7 AI archetypes. Again, it's called the PHILL-AIM framework, and it's meant to be used for AI music consensus. It's also a taxonomy for us to categorize the music we create and identify the music we create, okay? In this taxonomy, there are a number of individuals, a number of archetypes. We're going to be talking about these archetypes one by one, and you are definitely one of these. The question is, which archetype are you? Well, let me teach you about the archetypes one by one. The very first archetype is Annie the analog artisan. You've definitely run into Annie in the past. Annie is a representation of the archetype that fully embraces analog methods in music production. Annie values craftsmanship and tradition, deliberately excluding digital as much as possible. As much as possible, Annie likes sticking to her reel-to-reel. She likes sticking to stuff that is analog, and actually, Pro Tools is not her favorite. She just uses Pro Tools because she has to. All right? So she's the analog artisan. She loves anything analog. Anything digital she tries to avoid. And her main goal is to use anything that is technology to preserve the sonic authenticity and the warmth of pure analog recording. So that is Annie. Are you Annie? Are you someone who has zero tolerance for anything digital? AI is even totally out of the question. We're just talking about digital. So Annie is only going to allow live played handwritten parts. All the audio is recorded manually. She might accommodate a traditional drum machine if she has no option. But what is not allowed is anything artificial intelligence. AI banned from all stages that she's on. No AI mixing, no AI mastering, no lyric assistance. So, there's Annie. Meet Annie. If you are an Annie, you're at level 0. Level 0 of the spectrum is zero tolerance for AI. And that's okay. We don't all have to be AI enthusiasts in music. Okay? Let's go on to level 2, or I should say level 1, the second level, but it's level 1 because the first level is zero tolerance for AI. The second level is level 1. This is where you meet Orin, the organized operator. Orin is a representation of the archetype where human creativity leads. But AI, we will allow AI only for metadata automation, only for legal compliance. Orin is very organized, and he doesn't mind using AI for non-creative tasks, non-creative things that we do in music. And there are people like that. They will only allow AI for administrative tasks, release planning, automating form submissions, maybe using AI to find public domain content references. But what is not allowed for Orin is any AI generating or altering music content. No music generating, no music altering, just for the administrative stuff. Metadata, submitting to databases, but there's no AI in the audio music production. Do you know anyone like this who will say, oh, I can use AI to submit a form that is musical related, but not for the creativity in the music? So the difference between level 0 and level 1 is level 0 does not allow any AI, period. Nothing. 0. But level 1 will allow it only for the administration aspects. Is that you? Drop me a comment. Let me know if that's you. Let's go to level 2, which is the third level. I want you to meet Corey, the concept alchemist. Now, Corey's a little bit different from Orin. Corey is a little bit more open to AI. Corey will use AI as a source of inspiration to overcome creative blocks, perhaps by selecting certain ideas from AI, but not allowing AI to fully compose. That is reserved still for her, but we could have a human being central to the process, but using artificial intelligence tools such as maybe you get an idea spark, right? You could use the AI to brainstorm for titles of a song. You're not using it to write the song, but AI could generate a title list, based on current affairs, based on pop culture. You could ask AI to give you some ideas, and that's how Corey uses it. Or rhyme options. There are lots of AI tools that can be used for rhyming. And I'm wondering, is that you? Now, the thing about Corey is Corey will not allow AI generating any musical output. No audio, no MIDI, no stems, no melodic ideas. Just give me a title, give me a rhyme, something that can rhyme with my words, give me a tempo or key suggestion, or give me a chord alternative. I've been playing a C 7th. Give me something different, AI. But still, AI is only used for brainstorming. Is that you? I want to know if that's you. I'm sure there's various archetypes. Hello, my friend, Parody Gaming. Parody Gaming says, hello, sir. There's no Indian music distribution company who distributes AI-generated music. I created my songs with my own lyrics, composition, and singing but use wow, and they won't take anything that has even a speck of AI. That's interesting. Well, parody gaming, I think it's about time. Maybe you start your own label. How about that? You can start your own label with your own production on it, or you can partner with someone in a different country if you know another musician, because now is the time for you to take the law into your hands. It's the time for the democratization of music. So don't allow anyone to hold you back. Now, even though you're in India, you can distribute your music using Spotify. You could just find a way of getting on DistroKid and have your own private label, your own personal label, and start. And even if that is not a possibility, you can also use YouTube as your distribution channel. Because I don't know if you folks are aware that there's a lot of money, a lot of opportunity on other platforms, not just the Spotify and the Apple. Okay? YouTube could give you a lot of great opportunities if only, you play the game well, put up quality content, quality video, quality audio, and you'll be amazed at what could happen. Okay? So I encourage you, don't be discouraged, but just be innovative. Okay? All right. So it sounds like these folks are like zero. They are at level 0. They're the level 0 we just talked about. All right. So let's move on to our next level, getting into level 3, which is the 4th. And this is Sam. This is Sam, the studio sculptor. Sam integrates AI into the production process by employing AI-powered tools to enhance sound quality. So I showed you Lander a few moments ago. Remember that? Showed you Lander. So something like this would be a tool that Sam would use. He would accommodate using a tool like this. And that's why I call him the studio sculptor, because he will use AI-powered tools to enhance sound quality, to edit vocals, to automate mastering, and it will result in polished final tracks, but retaining the human composition. So not using AI beyond what we saw in level 2, but going a step further in the mastering. So the creativity will just stop at what was in Corey's domain, but getting into level 3, this is where we will add some AI-powered tools to enhance sound quality, to edit vocals, to automate. And there are many people like that. They will not use AI for mastering, they'll not use AI for mixing, but they would use AI for generating an idea, but they would run with the idea and they would not go into level 3 stuff. No Lander, none of that stuff. Okay? Let's go up to the next level. The next level of individual is Charlie, the collaborative conductor. Now, Charlie is a little bit more accommodative of artificial intelligence being used. He is a representation of a human composer that allows AI to provide backing textures. And this archetype emphasizes human-led composition, but with AI enhancing the musical landscape in the background. You see. So this takes it up a notch from just mastering to now beginning to use some artificial intelligence in the background. So what is allowed at this level is the human is still in control, providing the lead vocal or the lead instrument. If you're a pianist, you're still playing your piano. The stuff you're doing is backing parts, pads, auxiliary percussion, texture layers, maybe some harmonies based on a human lead, but you will not allow the AI to replace the human lead. Only sections that are 8 bars or less. A human must be in that loop of the music every 8 bars. So it's very restrictive as far as what the AI can do, but we will allow AI back in, but no AI leading more than 8 bars. Then there must be a human, right? And we're not allowing the AI take over the vocal or the lead instrument. So it's more accommodative, but still somewhat restrictive. And that takes us to level 5. Level 5 is where you begin to see people tipping their toes into the water. And honestly, I went through all these levels myself. I would just call this a catalog of my life as an AI musician, because I started off very reserved, not accommodating. Then I got into a little bit of lander. Then Sooner was very hard for me to get into because of my musical background. But eventually I allowed it to come calling, but I only allowed it as a hybrid, right, to just support me a little bit before I was able to climb up to level 5. Level 5 is Samantha, the symbiotic songwriter. And Samantha exemplifies a balanced partnership where both human and AI contribute actively to songwriting. There is no shame when she allows the AI to influence, and this archetype shows a more integrated collaboration, sharing ownership and creative input. What this will not allow at this level are fully AI tracks. There must still be a human creative direction. Final approval is mandatory. No level of human contribution is required, but a human must curate and validate. So think about it like it could be a 50-50, it could be a 60-40. The AI could perform virtual leads alongside the human. The AI can originate core motifs for your music. So you could say human/AI co-created. So it could be, in some instances, it could be a 30-70. Like in the example I showed you, right, just a few moments ago, I was going to split this down the middle. It will probably be a 60-40. 40% from me, 60% from the AI. Or if you look at the mastering efforts and all that, maybe a 50-50. So that's really a level 5 example right there. Okay. Now we're getting into the grimy levels that people push back the most against. Level 6. Penelope, the prompt curator. That is what a lot of people are. They're prompt curators. She is a representation of an advanced collaboration where AI autonomously generates full songs, with the human acting as a visionary curator and editor, refining the AI's output to meet artistic standards. And that's how a lot of us are. And that's how a lot of us actually should be. Those of us who are in the world of Suno, because we curate the prompt, right? We have an idea of the prompt. Some people are more deep into the world of prompt curation and others not very. So what we allow here is the artificial intelligence tool, the AI, could originate most, if not all, of the musical material, the melody, the lyrics, the arrangement, the mix, but it's guided by human prompts and curation. The human's role is primarily editing, mastering, and final approval. But the AI could come up with 100% of the musical content with your prompt. Now, what we will not allow at level 6 is unreviewed auto-publishing. There should still be a human in the loop. And honestly, for me, this will be the threshold. Because if you just generate something out of a tool and it didn't pass through a correct vetting process, a proper vetting process from you, that is not good. And that is what a lot of companies like Spotify are pushing back against. Just churning out stuff just to make a buck, as opposed to creating music for art purposes and sharing your story. So we still want at level 6, we want that AI led under human supervision. There must be a human supervising. Okay. All right. Well, let me know if this is making sense. Drop me a comment if it is. And let me know how you're finding the world of AI and which level you think you are. Now we're going into the darkest of the levels. The whole level. The whole level. And I'm not saying whole level, whole. Human out of the loop. Oh dear. This is where Spotify and the likes of Spotify will cry foul. Don't do it. Don't go there, because Hall is a archetype of an AI left to its own devices. Oh dear. Hall is a human out of the loop hologram. And Hall is the spectral composer. Hall could be very dangerous. Very, very dangerous to music. And here's why. Hall is an archetype of an AI creating music from inception to release without any human creative or editorial input. You press a button and the AI conceptualizes songs, composes, arranges, performs, mixes, masters, and even distributes autonomously, often collaborating with other AI agents in an evolving feedback loop. This is cutting humans out of the loop, but of course there's going to be a human in the dark alley with a ka-ching register to cash in on that. I really hope we don't get to see a whole lot of holes in operation, but this would be the worst of the worst, because the dark and shadowy figures which will operate these, and honestly, some have probably already started this model where there is no human involved. It's just crank out songs daily. Today is going to be whatever you choose AI. Tomorrow, check the market pulse and create music according to the ebbs and flows. Oh, Tay-Tay's album came out. Create something like that. Create a counter to that and just automate the whole process. This is very dangerous for music. I really hope that these AI sweatshops or AI agent sweatshops will be caught before they can, go fully rogue and infiltrate the system. But it's very scary to think that a day could come when, if unmonitored and unvetted, without a human in the loop, an AI could use human likenesses, voices, data sets without lawful consent. That could be very scary. Now, if this becomes a legal point where government steps in, because no one stepped in right now and said you cannot create music like this, but if the government should step in any country and say this is not allowed, that would be good. But if not, ethically speaking, I think even if someone has automated their little AI production sweatshop, I don't agree with it. But what should definitely not be allowed is any human taking people's voices, right? The use of human likenesses, voices, or data sets. And there has to be full disclosure if anyone is doing this as a label. So that would be the level where the human is out of the loop. Nobody would be a level 7. That would be an AI. A record label, a shadowy record label may choose to be an out of the loop, human out of the loop model. I do not subscribe to it. I think it's not good. But in me investigating and musing over possibilities, I know just like there's scammers, there are going to be scammers who try to do a level 7. And I think this provides a good hypothetical case study for those folks in law to ensure that this model is banned. Level 7 should be outrightly banned. I don't even care if you're doing elevator music, level 7 should be banned. Okay? So, I see Parody Gaming said, I create music for the past 5 years, self-learning, but Suno AI blows my mind. And creativity, but distribution company holding me back. So don't look at yourself as being held back, Parody Gaming. I would highly advise you to look at YouTube Music. There's YouTube Music. Look at YouTube Music as your channel and go hard. There are a lot of people crushing the game by putting their music on YouTube with visuals. You got to add some convincing visuals, and I'm sure that will definitely resonate with the people that you're trying to resonate with. Okay? All right. Queen Bethel said, this all makes sense. I would say at this point, until I get the hang of using Suno Studio. Yes, absolutely. Your level will definitely be between 5 and a 6. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, for some of us, it's going to be very easy for us to just see, oh, this is a level I'm at. Very, very straightforward. For other people, you might actually need to take a kind of quiz to determine which level you're at. And I would like you to take a short little quiz about the level that you're at. I'm going to put it in the chat, okay? And this will be available for the duration, just for a little time here. So if you want to jump in and take the quiz to assess your levels, just go down to this link, all right? Click on that link, and when you do, it is going to open up a page, and the page will look something like this, okay? This is the PHILL-AIM Level Finder quiz. So, assuming I'm someone who I play everything myself and I don't use AI, I do everything manually, I only use traditional hardware, no voice clones, a human and a final producer must take a look at it. A human is in the loop at every stage. Well, if that's me, I have zero tolerance for AI, and that's okay. So take the quiz, find your level. This is not me, obviously. I'm not a level 0, but I have friends and family who are level 0, and they stick to level 0, and that's fine. But if we understand where we are, as a community, I think this is the beginning of us having further conversation. So this is a very elaborate model. I'm only showing you the tip of the iceberg right now. This goes into a lot deeper controversy and conversation, and I have this under the PHILL-AIM taxonomy. It's a very detailed taxonomy, but I won't bore you by going through all the details tonight. But the idea is that for us to be able to have harmony in the community, there has to be a general understanding, some sort of benchmark, some type of level. Also, when it comes to groups, bands working these days, they may need to use something like this to negotiate. A is for just AI, H is for hybrid, and AI is for just artificial intelligence. So if we have a human working on, let's say, composition, then we agree that it's going to be a human. If we want AI to be solely responsible for art and video, we could use this notation to get on the same page. Now, I've shown you a number of possibilities, but there's one final archetype that I need to reveal to you. Here's the final archetype, and I think some of you might be this archetype. This archetype is an ambidextrous creator. I call it a meta musician. And I call this model the shapeshifter, right? The core principles of the shapeshifter meta musician is that they seamlessly shift between multiple creative roles, showcasing versatility and mastery in various modalities at different times. Because adaptability is essential, combining deep understanding of human creativity with emerging AI potentials in music creation. So to give you an example of this model, you could have someone who, when it comes to elevator music, they're fine with using AI. So down here, I have some expansions explaining how these all differ, and I'll put this in the chat as well so that you can take a look at it. But this is an example of the ambidextrous AI musician. When it comes to indigenous world music, as our friend Parody Gaming was talking about, some individuals, they will have zero tolerance. They want cultural purity, and the human performance is required. But some people might allow AI-aided production. That same person, right, may say, okay, when it comes to me being an original singer, I will allow AI for this. Or when it comes to film scoring, background atmospheres, okay, I will allow that. But when it comes to indigenous music, my music from my hometown in India, I will not allow the human to replace, I would not allow the AI to replace what the human does. And they fight against it. They're like, no, we should keep our indigenous music pure, unadulterated. I can understand that posture, right? Because for most intents and purposes, I want to preserve that indigenous feel. And while I'm not definitely a Luddite in that sense, my preference is to have real live instruments, right? But where there are no real live instruments, and I've got a lot of the instruments that I use. I've got drums, I've got, conga, I've got hand pans, I've got tongue drums, I've got flutes. So I love the real instruments, which is why I collect them, I buy them. So there could be someone who is even more Puritan than I and says, no, I don't support AI music for indigenous, but I will tolerate it for something else, like elevator music as an example. So this is a very comprehensive model, okay? If you want to know more about it, do let me know in the comments. But as a beginning, I think everyone should identify where they're at. Everyone should know their level, and everyone should be honest. All right, Queen Bethel says, so I'm plugging my songs into Suno and creating formats for later usage. Great deal. Awesome. Good deal. Well, my friends, we have been talking for going to 55 minutes. And I want to say a big thank you for all of you coming through. I know it's late. These meetings are pretty late. I know they're late, but it is just the beginning. I hope to have many more of these at a more convenient time. Okay. Before we get off the call today, I'm going to do a quick jam session. We're going to combine the power of Suno. We're going to combine some human and AI music. And we're going to be playing Going to the Next Level. Okay, let's make sure my keyboard is actually on. I'm curious to know if any of you actually plays an instrument. I'm curious. Do you have an instrument? Do you play an instrument? Okay. Let's see if I can get this on. Actually, okay, I think you should be able to hear it now. Okay, cool. Well, let's get rolling. We're going to play this jam, and this is going to take us out. If you got any other questions, now will be a perfect time to ask. Okay. Let me know if you have any questions before the jam ends, and I'll be more than happy to take them. All right, here we go. Final jam for the night. It's called Going to the Next Level. All right. are, my friends. It's been fun. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Don't forget to take that quiz that I put in the chat and let me know what level you're at. If there's anyone at a level 0 or 1, that will be a very nice debate. And it's okay to be at a level 0. It's absolutely okay. Okay. Final question check. Oh, you play around with the bass guitar. That's cool. Yeah, don't stop playing. Don't stop playing. No problem. No problem. All right. Well, in the near future, Queen Bethel, we're going to be having some member Zoom conferences. So just stay plugged to the member section. And as soon as there is, oh, you're most welcome. As soon as there is a member Zoom, you'll know about it. All right. Take care, my friends. God bless. Thank you. Take care. All right, going all in.